Good morning from Luang Prabang. Guys, this is going to be a little bit of a different video than I normally shoot because I did not expect to shoot this video. It's very early. You can see I'm very tired, but this was the best time to do it because we are in the middle of a very hot season. Let me just show you what's going on because life here begins early. We're gonna head up there later to the morning market to have some breakfast, or we might even have breakfast here because this is one of the best places to have it. And then even also on this side, lots of people getting breakfast. Banh mi, which you can't go wrong. We're just gonna head down to the Mekong River. I'd like to show it to you because it's absolutely beautiful. I think it's probably the iconic element of Luang Prabang, and also there's some stuff going on with it which I want to share with you because traveling in Laos has been so interesting. I personally love about Laos, it's more about spending time in towns, experiencing the nature, and then also just seeing how everyone lives. Basically, Mekong River goes through Laos, Cambodia, Vietnam, of course, maybe even Thailand. Oh, it's so early. I don't have any of these stats. Anyway, Mekong River, so important to so many people, so many countries. This is where life begins, work begins. A lot of people fish here. Down here, these are all longboats. And so there is a way that you can go from Chiang Rai, Thailand, cross the border, do 2 days of a longboat going to Laos. But also I've seen people rent these boats just on the weekend. You can see there's like little tables for a bar, there's little party boats. There's a lot going on here. Now, one of the sad things that I actually learned last night is that Luang Prabang was the first UNESCO heritage site in Laos in 1995. And it was the heritage site for two reasons. One, because of the blend of architecture in the city, which is so well preserved. So you have that Laotian, which includes Lao plus other ethnic groups. There are 60 ethnic groups in this region. Their architecture in the city plus French. And so it's very well preserved. It's a beautiful city. It kind of reminds me of Hoi An. And also, I don't love all UNESCO heritage sites. Like Cartagena for me is a beautiful city, but you don't really see any local life. It's just basically where tourists go to spend money. But here actually in Luang Prabang, you still get some local life. There's some schools. If you don't want to be in the core hub, which is very touristy, and actually not that touristy, you can go a couple of blocks and you can see more of local life. And then you can also come down to the water. So that's the second reason why Luang Prabang was a World Heritage Site, is the water. It was the unique life that this river brings to the city and how it's maintained and how tourists can see it. Unfortunately, I realized, I think 25 kilometers up the river, they are building a dam. And there's a plan to build 9 dams all the way through Laos. And what that will do is change the Mekong completely. And actually, the UNESCO Heritage Organization has requested environmental and impact studies because basically what this will do is it's going to cut things off, not only for Laos, but also for all of the other countries. And you can just see that Laos, I think, is a vulnerable country. It's a beautiful country, but it's a vulnerable country. And so I think the idea of taking care of the environment, doing what's best in the long run, may not always be at everyone's forefront. And unfortunately, I think that means like projects like this dam, which is going to really change the defining elements of this country. It's still early in the morning and I want to take you to one of the places, hopefully before all of these tourist vans have gotten here. They get here early. So as you can see, walking along here, Mekong is long. In Luang Prabang though, it's a really nice place to have a drink at sunset, to go for lunch. It's very cool right now. So it provides some relief because I would say in 2 or 3 hours it's going to get really, really hot. The other thing is in Luang Prabang there are so many temples. Now we are not in kind of the most beautiful part of it, but we are in a historic area. So right up that alley is our guest house, which is only $15 a night. And it is a historic building, and people do have to maintain it. That is very old architecture. All right, let's enter this morning market, and yes, it's looking a little bit better. I came here a few days ago just to check it out because we're right by it, but it was so busy. But let's take a look at what they have here. So you've got lots of fruit and snacks. You can get lots of snacks here. Everything here is in Lao language and then also English. In some cases, you'll also see it in Chinese. Fried soybean. So you've got lots of little vendors if you want to come and get a snack. You do need to be careful because if you don't eat pork, it's going to be tough for you here. It's going to be tough for you in general in Laos, although they do have a lot of beef dishes, but here it seems like pork is the dish to have in the morning. Oh, look at this. Oh, selling songbirds. I think this is rice. We've got some jackfruit. What does it taste like? Soft. And then you have so many sauces here. So chili carb sauce, chili pepper, vegetable sauce. Luang Prabang is such a good spot for sauces, Lao overall. You've got more of these honeycombs that you can get. And then this dish I think is like a fermented honeycomb. I'm not entirely sure. But I think maybe this could be a good place to eat. So we've got noodles with red tomato paste pork soup. I think that might be khao soi. Sticky rice noodle soup with pork, noodle rice with crispy pork, noodle soup with chicken, noodle soup with beef. Actually, this would have been better for Alan to come to. Oh, actually, I'm not going to sit there right away because I realized I didn't bring any money with me. I got up this morning and I just wanted to shoot this early because last time I just couldn't, I couldn't do it. So I guess I won't be having breakfast here with you. I'm gonna have to wait for Alan. But I just found out there that they do have chicken and beef, so that's fantastic. Let's go this way. All right, as you can see, we're gonna go into the center a little bit. I'll show you some of the buildings. But this is where everyone is coming to the morning market. Just cars and cars and cars full of people. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, I also take tours and I'm in those cars. So I'm not one of those people who's like traveler versus tourist. We're all tourists, we're all travelers. We just do it in different ways. So I don't judge you if you take package tours, because if that's the way that you're comfortable, I think that's a great way to travel. Sun is coming up. Can you see that? It's bright orange, like the eggs here, the egg yolks. And it's beautiful, but it means it's gonna be a hot, hot day. One of the best ways to get around Laos is actually these tuk-tuks. Then the interesting thing is they do have set prices. So they tell you that it'll cost 40,000 to get to most places, although I think that price has increased because the price of gas has increased significantly, so I think it's actually 50,000. But you can negotiate here. They also, like Vientiane, have that Loca app, which is like the Uber, Grab, Gojek of Laos, and it was started by the government. We used it twice, once to get from the airport and once in town in Vientiane. More people out eating in the street. This is what I love about Asia, just everyone coming out, enjoying this cool air while they can. See what they've got. Morning soup. Now we're starting to see some of the colonial architecture here. As you go through the city, you can really see it change, but it seems like this is the heart of it. All right, so why are we leaving? Let me see if you can see behind me, right here. Right now, they say the best time to visit Laos is between November and April. So we're kind of at the end of that, where it's not raining, but it's certainly dry. It's not the lush Laos that we saw on other pictures. Look, I think this is the National Museum. Look at this. So beautiful. When you walk around the city, that's all you see is lots of these beautiful historic buildings. It's just a beautiful city to walk in. Burning season happening in Thailand, but it also happens in Laos. Now, I had heard it happens on a much smaller level because just the nature of the country is much smaller. Agriculture here is much smaller. So I didn't think it would be that bad. But in Vientiane, we didn't notice it. So it was like a week ago. Then we went to Vang Vieng, and I didn't shoot any drone there because just the sky was hazy and I didn't really think about it. But the cough that I had in Vientiane did not go away. Then we got here, we just decided to come here for a day and then go up to Nong, which is this incredible little town far up. People say it's a hidden gem. It's not hidden. Everybody knows about it. But it's still fantastic. But we thought it would get better because it would be cooler, but it did not. It was also hazy. And so right now, my throat is burning. It's just so raw from the smoke. And it's not like a smoke where you walk through and everything is really hazy. It's just this constant assault on your throat. And so part of the reason I have such bags under my eyes is, well, it's early, but also just this not feeling well. So in the morning, we were trying to get up. Did not shoot a video in Nong Khiaw because it was just, we couldn't get up early enough to do everything we wanted. And then in the afternoon, when it hits 43 degrees, it was just too much, even for Alan, who's from Padang, Sumatra, Indonesia, where it's hot. He was literally like, it's too hot for me. Yesterday, we came back from Nong Khiaw, decided to go for lunch, and that's all we could do. We walked into this area. I mean, this area is the most touristy area, but it's beautiful with all of these houses and the trees. And actually what I would recommend, and we'll do it, is going into these side streets. This is where it really starts to remind me of Hoi An, with all of the flowers that thankfully come during this time of year. And then you can get lots of different things to eat, and it's just a really nice place. And also there are so many trees on these side streets. So it's been hot and it's been smoky, and I have not been enjoying it. And I did in Vientiane and Vang Vieng. When we got here for that first day, I said to Alan, I don't feel like shooting anything. When we got up to Nong Khiaw, I also just, it felt wrong. I felt like I would have to be fake on camera to be like, this place is amazing and I love it here, when really we were dying from the heat. We could see the beauty in it. It's certainly beautiful, but just not great for traveling. And then when we got down here, I felt the same thing. I was like, oh, it's hotter. The smoke is worse. And so we just decided to cut the cord. We are leaving today. So we love Laos. We're definitely going to come back, but we're going to come back outside of burning season, and we're going to Cambodia. So Cambodia was always on the list to go to next. I have some fun things planned, and I know some people there. I have a friend, Sam, who was actually in Malaysia, a KL video. She lives there, and so she has so many great suggestions for me. She knows that I really want to help I believe tourism should help communities. We don't just take from them, we also give back. And so I'm really excited to share these places. Another, like just all of these buildings, so many historic buildings. And of course, I'm sure this was the rooster that woke me up this morning. Yeah, were you? Is that why you're running away? I think maybe. Do you feel shame because you woke me up at 4 a.m. with your friend there? Very different video. Very, very different video than what we shot. Probably unexpected for you, unexpected for me. But I really just wanted to share with you why we're leaving, because Laos is definitely up there for me for most interesting countries that we visited last year, I think. Vietnam was probably the biggest exploration, the biggest sense of freedom that I felt. And I think part of it was because we rode a motorbike from Saigon to Hanoi. But Vietnam was so incredible because the people and the culture were so different, and it didn't have slick tourism. The same thing here in Laos. The people are not overly friendly like say in Thailand, but they're very kind, just really kind people and sincere. The interactions you have with people, they're not always going to give you this giant fake smile. And so some people don't like that, especially if they've come from Thailand. They're like, oh, they're not as nice. They are as nice. They just don't feel the need to have to put on this fake face for you. So you kind of always know what people are thinking, and sometimes, yes, you are annoying them as a tourist. So that is the end of this video. In the next video, it's going to be from Cambodia, and maybe we'll just show you like a little bit of Siem Reap outside of Angkor Wat, outside, just to explain what the town is like. Also feature some of these restaurants that people have been talking about. But until then, I'm going to enjoy this morning, go wake up Alan, get some money, and go eat breakfast at that morning market.